Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do something different. I had the opportunity recently to team up with Decayed Brigade sliding team on a statue, and I figured, after talking and working with the team leader, Chase McCullough, I thought that it might be kind of cool to get him on and talk about the team and the history of the team, he suggested to get the whole team on, and I personally was completely flattered, and just the fact that they chose and were more than happy to come on my little channel here to get this exclusive interview with them. Sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoy this mini documentary / podcast of Decayed Brigade, Southern California sliding team.
Oh shit, it's Bitburger.
Welcome everybody. It is nice to have most of the team here. I guess we're waiting for a few more to come on, which they will pop in. But I want to thank you guys all for taking the time out to discuss anything and everything Decayed Brigade. This is an honor for me. I've been a fan since day one, since I saw you guys at Scare LA. And I thought, wow, this is kind of cool. And I didn't know who put it on, but I didn't care because it was sliding in a public, area that you guys were just doing some really cool shit. So it's truly an honor to be here and to listen to your guys' story. So welcome. So with that little intro out of the way, I'm going to introduce everybody individually. We'll try and get through this quick. If I butcher your names, I'm sorry. I don't know everybody, but everyone's names is on the screen here. So I'll start from my left to right. Kevin May. Go ahead and do a little quick intro for yourself.
My name is Kevin. Go by Pumpkin Spice on the team. I've only been on for a little bit. Haven't been on for very long. Been about 2-3 years, but only did one show, and I was doing lighting for other shows and prop work, and did a slide into reading. So it's my extent with the team right now. So hopefully that grows soon. Man, I'm really chomping at the bit.
Okay. Well, welcome. Thank you for that. Andrew.
What's up? I'm Andrew. I go by Gas Can. This past midsummer was my 6th year with Decayed Brigade, which makes me feel really old, even though I'm not. I do all the music mixing in the past recent years, and then this past year I directed a show with Naomi. That was fun.
Awesome. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name.
Oh yeah. My name is Monique. I did props with Decayed. This was my first year really helping out. I did props, videography, building some props, and just general helping out, and also making the logo screen bounce and designing a shirt.
Very cool. I love that bounce, by the way.
Thank you.
And that was going to be one of my questions. Who the fuck did that bounce? Because it was so cool. It's mesmerizing. Naomi, your turn.
Hey, I'm Naomi. My Decayed name's Nightmare. This is my 6th year on Decayed. I've been a show director for the past 3, and I designed a shirt this year.
Sweet. Congrats.
Thank you.
Ruth.
Hi, my name's Ruth. My Decayed name's Ducky. I've been with the team for 7 years. Can't remember. Time flies by so fast. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for that. Veronica.
Hi, my name is Nani or Veronica. They're really just the same at this point. I've been with Decayed for what I think is 8 years. I think it's 8 years. I don't know. I've lost count. I have done choreography, show running, music mixing, video production, all kinds of fun things with Decayed, and it is some of the most joy I've ever felt hitting the ground with the best people I could ask for.
Nice. Thank you. And the guy that has the best last name ever, Devin Talons.
Thanks. The chickens have large talons. My name is Devin. My Decayed name is Maverick. Technically, I got on in 2020, but I'm still technically a rookie. This is my first show that I ever did. So
sweet. Okay, we'll discuss that more. Let's see. Garrett.
Hi, my name's Garrett. My Decayed name is G6, and this is my very first year sliding with Decayed.
And I hear it's your very first year doing Midsummer as well.
Yeah, and first time going as well.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll discuss that too.
Cool.
And let's see, Gregory. I hope you don't mind me calling you Greg.
Damn, call me Gregory.
Greg Daniels.
I'm Greg. Been on the team for 10 years. I'm one of the original Decayed members. What I've done on the team: choreography, design 2 shows, and be one of 2 black men.
This guy.
So,
this
yeah.
guy. Okay.
Take it, white people. Come on now.
What a way to make it awkward, Greg.
Oh my god,
man. All right.
Let's see, Elijah.
What it do, baby?
So finally, somebody with some spunk.
What's up? My name is Elijah Padilla. Decayed name's Hybrid. Yeah, I've been doing Decayed since 2015. I just slide. I don't know. I bring the energy, baby. That's all I gotta do. Slide, bring the energy.
Sweet.
That's the most important part, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. This is gonna be funny. Let's see here. John, iPhone 8. John, your turn, man.
I think he's muted.
Yeah.
He is muted. I just told him I'm muted. There you go.
Yo.
Welcome, caller.
Better introduce yourself, Fox.
Introduce yourself, John. I think he popped in after, so
yeah, I think we said it before he joined.
Yeah.
He's muted again.
Unmute yourself. You have your video. Okay, we'll come back to you, John. Garrett Deludman. If I pronounced it.
Hey, let's get it!
Yeah! Let this thing go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Name's Garrett Glotman. G baby. And let's go. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
I like that. I like the energy.
Yo.
Forgive me for butchering your last name, bro.
No,
okay.
You're all good.
All right. John, iPhone 8, man. You need to update your phone, bro.
I know. Sorry about that.
That's why it's not working, dude. Go for it. Introduce yourself.
My name is John. My Decayed name is John O. I've been sliding with the team for 2 seasons. I got on the team in 2019, and I'm pretty much just a slider at this point.
Sweet.
Haven't brought anything else to the table yet.
Not yet. Not yet. You got some years to come, man. All right. And last but not least, of course, to save the best for last, Chase, the McCulloughs.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Belle. I was like, you could. That's a good answer. I'm about to get married to that best of let's. So
I'm saving the best for last, bro. She about to run
Chase.
this team.
My name's Chase, aka Sequel. Been on the team for a really long time. Somebody said you make you feel old. You're
not wrong. The time has flied. It is, I think, what, 10 years, Greg, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
right?
10 years.
10 years. Ever since Decayed Brigade started. To be honest with you, I do a lot, but I don't want to say I do everything. This whole team does everything. We all help out each other, especially when it comes to certain areas. I've slid. I've never choreographed a show, and I will never choreograph a show because I'll leave that headache to you guys. But I help manage the merch, the money. My wife here, Belle, she helps manage the booth now, but in the past I was helping with that as well. But other than that, we all do it. We all help out each other as a team, and we all do a lot. We really do. You guys undercut your guys' selves. You guys all do a lot. Even you rooks. This year, you guys pulled through, and you guys amazed everybody. So you guys do. Everybody does a team effort when it comes to making this thing work.
And now the best, Belle.
Well, I guess he already basically introduced me, but my name is Belle. I've been with Decayed for about 4 years now. 4 years. Ever since been working the booth, help out with props wherever needed. Been a prop. Been in the videos. Mystic. Yeah, I just love being here. I love working with all of them. They never fail to amaze me every time.
Sweet. I mean, with everything that Shay said, I mean, you guys, like this last three shows, I didn't get to see the second one, but the first and the last, like, I was blown away. I could not believe it. Just from the theatrics of everything, the music, just the choreography, everything. And then you guys, the thing that I loved is you add a little bit of dancing to it. I don't know who the two were that were dancing, but I figure it was you, and it's probably Garrett, right? Was it Garrett? Garrett home?
Oh, it's Riley.
Riley. Okay, so Riley's not here.
Riley and Elijah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
What it do, baby?
that was dope. That was dope, and I was not expecting that, and I feel that really kind of broke up and really made it took it to another level. Before it was just constant sliding, which we love, but that just kind of made it more into even more of a show. So that was sick. And so yeah, you guys give your the work that you all put in. It showed. It really did show. So what we'll do is the one thing I really want to know, and I've been curious about, is your joining process. What do you guys what is it that you look for? And do you guys have an audition process? Like, what do you guys do to choose your talent?
So it's not really too much of like an audition process. It's just kind of like at the beginning of every year, we have a meeting where we all get together. And then if there's anybody that we've been kind of watching throughout the year, we'll pitch them and then give our little pitch for them as to why we think they would be a good fit and like what they can add and everything. And then we kind of just talk about it. And then at the end of the day, it just comes down to a vote on who gets added.
Okay. What do you look for that? Like, is there a specific skill that you look for when it comes to sliding, or is it just a well-rounded slider? Why are you putting your hand up? Someone have a question?
It's basically like rule number one: don't be a dick. You want to make sure that whoever is going to be on board can jive with everybody else who's already here. Cool. And can take direction, can pivot if necessary. Someone that can read the room and contribute. So of course, if you're good at sliding, that's a plus. But even if you're not great, you will be if you hang out with us for long enough. So it's like, first and foremost, it's the vibes of that person, it's their personality, and how they view the team, how they view the haunt industry. Like, all of that kind of folds into how people end up on the radar.
Okay.
Yeah, to add to Nani there, a lot of us know, for example, like Devin, G6, all of our rooks, G Baby, we all have known them for years, right? and we've seen them throughout the years, and we know that they get along with all of us. And it's not just about that too, but it is, we have to represent ourselves as a team, right? If we have somebody that's a weak link, or not a weak link, meaning as in they don't get along with us, that, causes a lot of problems, well, then maybe you're not a fit for the team,
Right.
So it also for team camaraderie, and then, obviously the sliding as well. I mean, we've had sliders come on there, or, RIP Nelson, he really didn't do a lot of tricks, but the presence that he brought,
Right.
he brought a huge presence when he came out there. I mean, you can just tell, right? So it's not just about sliding, it's also scare acting as well, being that, for example, Elijah and Greg, they're entertainment, their excitement, to pump up the crowd and do all that, that's a huge role in our team too, because we don't interact with that crowd, they're not going to like us all. They're like, oh, cool, I'm just watching another slideshow. But if we get them involved, it's going to be amazing. But that's what we look for too. As long as they can actually, how do you put it, scare act, slide, get along with the whole entire team, not causing any problems, have a great morals. There it is, morals. Have great morals. And,
Right.
That's what we look for when it comes to joining this team.
The history, I mean, obviously when Spaz gets in here, he can tell us the history. This kind of ties into it, because I would like to know the beginning. But when it comes to concepting your first show, how did that come about? And if you want Spaz to talk about that, then we can skip that and just go into
Do you mean like the very first show?
Yeah, like when you got approached to do a show at Scare LA, like when you were like, all right, cool, then we got to put together a show, what was the process for that particular show?
I'll tell you this, like being there before Decayed was even, we had a name.
Right.
We were considered Scream Team. It was 2012 at LA Reef. And it was called Scare LA, and no one knew, honestly, when we found out about it, it was just this ragtag group of us guys. And Rick West and the creators of Scare LA at the time were like, we want a slider show. And I'll tell you this, we had no choreography. We had nothing really planned. And it was just literally a free for all. I think, Chase, you were there watching, and we had like no idea what we were going to get into. And we worked with a side company. I forgot, they're called Scream Team Productions. And we weren't even called Decay Brigade. It was like 8 of us from Knott's and like 5 of them from Queen. I mean, not even from Queen, like this production company. And it was god awful. Like there's still YouTube videos online, and it was horrible. I think we made a show in 2 practices, and it was like the worst show you can think of. It was like slide up and down, and we had to like use this vinyl flooring that was this white vinyl flooring, and it was like basically ice.
Yeah.
And we were slipping and sliding and couldn't find our grip. It was like the worst situation, but for some reason, people liked it.
Yeah.
We only had 1 show for the whole day. We didn't have multiple. I remember that.
Yeah.
I think we had the same show like twice a day.
Yeah, let's put it this way. It was literally a glorified slider show from Knott's Berry Farm. Literally, that's what it was. It was the main, basic stuff, going back and forth, some music thrown in there. We didn't really have music when we were at Knott's, right? So it was, a little bit of funniness and choreograph, but it wasn't really, I was a guest at that time. I wasn't on that, but, just watching, I'm like, okay, this is really cool.
Right.
And it was really just a glorified slider show that we would do at 11:45 p.m. on Knott's ground, and we moved it into a convention.
Yeah,
Exactly.
literally.
It was.
So what made you guys come up with the story and the concept, like really choreograph a show? When did that start then?
That was like 2013. That was like the very first year we kind of were like, all right. And even the name Decay Brigade, a lot of people didn't even know how it kind of came about. I remember Chase and me, we're on the Facebook group, and I think we had a practice, right? And we were trying to think of a name, and we were thinking of like Monster Crew or something goofy. And then Steve Warmbier was like, hey, I used to have this band that we used to drum at this haunt he used to work at called the Empty Grave? Something Grave?
Empty Grave.
The Empty Grave in Anaheim. And he was like, yeah, we called ourselves the Decay Brigade. And I remember seeing it on Facebook. It was like Biscuit, Merrill, Chase, me, Beggs, Paul, Steve. We all were like, yo, that's it. Like, we're like, that's the name. And from there, we kind of were like, all right, if we're gonna have a name, let's really do this right and see what we can put together.
Yeah. And then, so with the shows, well, I guess the question would be, who choreographed the first show?
Paul.
Paul did. Okay.
Mhm.
And you obviously, Greg, and Chase, you guys were both there. What was that process like?
We've kind of, how do I even put that, kind of nicely, not really nicely, but it was like, let's put it this way. You put a bunch of guys or ladies and guys in a room with a bunch of ideas bouncing off each other. What do you think is going to happen? Right. We should do it that way. We should do it this way. And then, the animosity is rising, tension's rising. It's just like, it starts to go to the point where like, okay, guys, we need to figure something out. We either do this or we don't. Right. And it was fun. Right. It was fun. And we had a little bit of drama the whole entire time, but we're all brothers and sisters and we're all one big family. And that's going to happen with your regular family. Right. I have a twin brother and I do that every single freaking day. Right. So with everybody with that time, it was just, we kind of didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. Right. And it's more of like, well, let's try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then we got to go at plan A or plan B. And it was fun. It was just a lot of bumping heads at first.
Right.
But we definitely tailored that now. And, we take everything with constructive criticism. It's nothing against anybody. I think that's what everybody was, I think it's going to go good. And no, it's really not going to go good, dude. And it wasn't against the person. We just know it wouldn't work.
Right.
But now we got to the point where we take this constructive criticism or something like that. Hey, it's not going to work well, and we cut it out right away. Right. So.
Right. And then the story, when you come up with a story concept for that, is that what you guys start with? You come up with the story idea and then build the choreograph around that. Is that what you guys do?
Kind of, yeah. Like, kind of, we went from just kind of like just basic sliding to then we started bringing in props. And I think our first prop we brought in was like this weird little tabletop thing that we just put like people in front of and people behind it. And we call that like a box. And that was like the first time we were kind of running out of our booth. I think that's when we all started kind of this group of individuals that you see now in 2022 is that same weird ragtag group that kind of said, all right, let's start kind of making it more music, more serious, more kind of developing story. But we ran out of our booth. And then I think the next year that's when we brought out the bed concept. And that was like what really, for me personally, I think that's what really kicked off what Decayed Brigade is today. It really zooted it and knocked it out of the park. And they're like literally, I think you guys all remember those rehearsals. We were like sliding underneath the bed, or like, how can we move this to move this, or how can we light it up? I remember Sebastian or Gary was like, we have a car battery. We were like, that works.
That's the first year we did lighting.
Like I was lighting,
yeah,
and
you're right.
Yeah, and then it was like the neon strip on the floor that you guys used to use in Ghost Town. It's just shit like that where it's kind of funny because I'll tell you honestly, from like being here from the start, if you would have told us that this was going to work in 2012 to what it is now, I would have told you it was crazy.
Yeah, I think everybody had that idea of like, oh, okay, it's cool, but it probably won't go anywhere. And it's only because it really didn't go anywhere with, KSF. Because, but clearly you put something behind it and you get people believing in it, it becomes what it is today, which is, impressive. So,
well, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're very welcome.
We've put out of blood, sweat, tears, broken backs, broken bones, head hidden, splitting heads open. There's a lot in the past that
locations, twisting.
Yeah, to make this work. So I really do appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. Well, pain is temporary, man. This is all forever. So, you got to go through the pain to exceed. That makes sense.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah,
That's what kind of separates us from other groups that do this same kind of work, is that willingness to push yourself past your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. Everybody here has done something that is well beyond their comfort zone, and they have figured it out and done it.
Right.
And just going to practice and go, it'd be a really stupid idea. And then you say the idea and someone else is like, oh yeah. And then suddenly you have a new compound high-speed pass move or something like that. Yeah. It's that willingness to being okay with failing essentially, and being comfortable enough in your own skill and trust enough in your own teammates to go, well, that didn't work. What's next?
Yeah, who said it best? Was it Brandon that one year said, "Oh, all we do is just say, hey, we think that might work. Let's try it." And next thing you know, somebody gets hurt, and didn't work. Let's try on the next trick.
All trial and error.
Yeah, it's all trial and error.
Don't know till you try.
Sorry, I think the weirdest thing is there was a trick that me and G Baby did in the third show where I go under him and he goes over me. And one time at the rink, we were like, hey, what if we tried doing this trick? And we tried it before and we failed miserably at it. Like we got hurt.
Terrible.
And then Greg was like, hey, can you do this? We're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, sure. And we did it. I mean, it worked out finally, but still scary.
Yeah. So since you bring that up, Garrett, I want to move into tricks. With my history, when I was sliding in the pre-show, I always wanted to outdo the trick that I did, the week before, the week after that, my partner and I were like, oh, we should try this. You guys do some tricks that I still fucking have no idea how you do them. And one in particular is, who's the freaking knucklehead that is sliding on their fucking toes, practically standing up?
Oh, Devin.
Devin?
There's a few of them.
Yeah, there's a few.
Oh, okay.
John.
Okay. Well, then here's the question: who's the first one that did it? Because when I first saw that, I was like, "What? You're gliding. That's not fair."
Pretty sure it was
James. I think it's James.
Oh,
James. Oh, really?
James or Trey?
Max.
With Seabass.
Yeah, of course, it's got to be someone that's not here.
But he ran into it. He didn't jump into it.
It was a very beginning, and it was not refined at all. But he started the whole sliding on your toes.
Yeah.
And then James just took it to a whole new level.
Okay.
Yeah. I still don't think the laws of gravity even apply to him.
Thank you.
He just floats.
Exactly.
He's just not of this world at all.
Yeah.
Don't get it. I don't get it.
I just can't. It's like the first thing that came to my mind was that this guy had to be a ballet dancer.
Can you guys imagine if James was a ballet dancer?
And then you guys are it's crazy because you're crisscrossing your feet, like you're doing all kinds of shit. I'm like, that's insane. And I feel that's the trick that puts you guys to another level because no one else does that. And then you guys are incorporating flips. I don't know which one did the side-esque flip in the last shows.
Right.
I don't know. It's one of you tall guys.
Trey and
Devin, yeah.
Devin. I figured it was probably Devin because he looks tall, but
barrel roll.
Yeah. So I mean, a few of you guys tell me about your process when you come up with new tricks. What goes through your head when you sit back and you're just like, oh, I want to come up with something new, or do you just do it by accident and you're like, oh, that was cool?
Sometimes it's by accident.
Yeah, sometimes I was gonna say sometimes it's on accident for sure. Devin, go for it. You're the one that's been doing some gnarly tricks lately, especially the one where you slide on your toes and jump over that T. What do you call it? The T slide, I guess you can call it.
The jump.
I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, so you explain that one, man, because that still blows my mind every time you do it. And I'm just like, how did you even think of that? So,
well, that was something we used to practice a couple of years ago in 2019, 2020, when we used to go to the rink every week. And we were kind of we always set up there's a jumping kind of section. There's a little toe drag section, people will kind of practice whatever. And then we're like, well, what if we just put some sticks straight so you had toe drag over them, and then you'd land and then jump over it again. So it was like a toe drag, hit, and then jump. I was like, well, what if you just toe drag and then just instead of coming down, you just go into a jump? So it kind of formed over weeks and weeks and weeks. And then it was like, have you ever tried this? I was like, oh, let's try right now. And then it kind of trial and error, and then turned into whatever that was. And then I was like, oh, we could throw this in a show. Let's put a person down there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
A lot of it is, hey, does this look stupid or does it look cool? That's
a lot of it is just trust me.
Yeah. Hey, I need you to lay down. Just don't look at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, Elijah, I just watched that video where Brandon tries to roll over you and just clearly demolishes your balls, bro. And
I let him do it 3 times.
yeah, you let him do it 3 times. You know?
That was all you, buddy.
Yeah, it's just stuff like that. I mean,
But imagine if he would have landed that, how badass that would have been.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, like the juice was worth the squeeze.
Oh my God.
Literally. And if ever anybody's here listening to this, go on our YouTube. It's literally like the first video we've ever uploaded.
I just shows. I think when we started practicing, I think I put it on like our group, on our Facebook group, to like as like a little throwback, and I was like, "Yo, like for all like new people, this is how practices go, man." So ready.
Yeah.
Bring your cup.
Yeah, bring a cup.
I think it's funny because like I think Greg, when you were spinning Naomi for the first time and you just like came down the runway with her and then you spun her and then Andrew was like, oh hey wait, let me do something, and then you just jumped over her and we all, our buttholes just went, what the hell?
You know the funny thing about that trick is that's all we used that trick in 2019 and none of you guys noticed it.
Yeah.
It's me, her, and Trey, we all used it, and it kind of failed during Scare LA and Midsummer that year. But this year, I think, thank God for you wax masters, but that it worked a lot better. It was a lot cleaner because remember in 2019, when I pushed her, she wasn't spinning, and so it was like a straight shot. So thank you to Andrew for being able to jump her straight or sideways, just depend on the moment.
What made that trick like as good as it was is how sketchy it was.
Yes.
It looked like Andrew was going to take her head off.
Yeah. Oh, Naomi, how many times? How many times I tell you, Naomi, keep your head down?
Yeah, I close my eyes too.
Yeah, she definitely closed her eyes. You guys need to see her face when she does it. She is down like this. She's just like, no.
The first time they did it, me and G6 were at the end of the runway, and then they did it, and we screamed so loud because it was terrifying.
I'll tell you this, Jeremy, but I think all of us can contest to it. I think one thing that we want to do is with our tricks, we know that a lot of other slider teams can do our tricks. I mean, that's a given. But what we try to do is definitely push the envelope, but more of the fact is we want to woo the crowd in any kind of trick that we do.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, yes, you're right. A lot of other teams do tricks and a lot of the tricks are classic tricks. But I think the one thing that you guys do pretty well is you make them look effortlessly. And I complimented Andrew on his knee walk because, Daryl, Scarecrow, he created that, and, may he rest in peace. Every time I see someone do it as clean and smooth as him, hence the reason why I gave Andrew his props at the show. It just brings me back to him and seeing him do it on the porch and him just chasing people down Ghost Town. And, it's just that effort, that effortless moves that you guys do is really what wows the crowd. And wows all the other, sliders that have been around for many, many years, including myself. Cause I'm just like, it would take so much energy for me to do half of the shit you guys do. Let alone not now, my old ass, but like even back then, it takes a lot, and you guys do it effortlessly and smooth. And
I'll let you know a secret. I'm out of breath the whole time.
You don't show it, man. You don't show it
for you.
Going to what Greg said, a lot of the tricks, he's right. A lot of the other teams can do these tricks, right? But we do it we push the envelope. But what's funny is there's some tricks that we pull back, and that's the oldest trick in the book, and it gets the loudest cheers. Talking about the surfboard. We don't understand it. That surfboard's been used so many times, and all of a sudden this year, the loudest cheers out of every show is the surfboard.
Yeah.
Oh, it was clean this year too. Like we noticed that when we were watching, we're like, whew.
Out of all
distance on that one too.
For sure.
Yeah. Out of all the photos,
you probably saw when you guys did the shows back in the day. I think Paul and all them were doing that. We were doing that surfboard.
We were doing it just laying on like they'd be prone and we'd lay on their back, and we kind of like we were flying.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I personally never.
Superman.
I know, yeah,
That's
like a
Superman.
Superman basically. But I never stood on someone's back, whether or not someone else did it. I didn't do it. So, and I've never seen it. So I thought that was pretty fucking cool, surfboarding. And I'm glad I got a great picture of that. That was the one thing I wanted to get.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal picture.
Yeah.
that
So
picture was clean.
thank you. And so, and again, effortlessly, there was like, there's no struggle in there. But anyways, so I thought that was really cool. I want to move on to the theatrics of the show. You guys have like stepped up your game. Obviously everybody's been, incoherent for the last 3 years, but I do remember 2019, you guys had a pretty decent production, but this year, like, you took it to a whole new level. And with the music, the lights, and Chase, you kind of explained that to me at the show because I was wowed. And I'm like, what the hell? Where'd you get all this shit? I wasn't sure if some Midsummer provided it or whatnot, but I figured that wasn't the case because you guys had the music going with it, and then the little animation on the logo. So let's talk about like the theatrics of it, and how that came to where it's at now.
Yeah, thanks to he's not on the call right now. Hopefully he jumps on a little later. I don't know if he's working or not, but David Woods, Colonel, he came through this year. I literally told him why every show I went up to him, pointed straight in his face, like, dude, if you don't bring this shit back next year, this ain't gonna look good. Yeah. You set our bar so high, but if you look at it now, that's what we're trying to strive for, right? And we finally have what it looks like a production. We've always have been one, right? But now it just made it that extra, again, what Greg said, pushing that envelope on what we can do just on lighting and effects alone, right? And then, I believe it was Andrew, and I think it was Greg, maybe whoever was doing the music as well. Alone, just adding that in, the type of music that we picked, and just everything that goes with the beat of everybody sliding, hitting a knee. I like the one where you guys did the superhero landing. I love it every single time with Greg and Elijah. Mm-hmm. You guys nail it every single time on that beat, and it's just perfect, and everybody cheers. But it's showing that we can do this, right? Now the downfall is if we don't have that next year.
Yeah.
It's gonna look not weird, but it's just we're used to it now, right? Yeah. So if one of you guys want to talk about the music, that'd be awesome. Just how you guys think about how you guys put it together, the mixes between the songs, and how you guys go about making sure the right beats are happening.
Let's go by show. Like which 1, 2, and 3.
There you go.
All right.
So I don't think anybody from show 1 is here right now. I mean, it was more so, yeah. I think that was mostly Riley and Trey doing a lot for show 1, picking music-wise, and it was legit just a group of us sitting in my room. I'm at my desk, and everybody else is sitting on my bed just throwing ideas at me. And it was really just an awesome group effort to be able to try to figure out what blends together and what goes well. Like, I know for a fact that when we were doing show 1, there were so many times where we wanted to do certain things, but they just don't line up right. And we got to switch the order and just a bunch of different other stuff about it. And but it's just really cool to see the group aspect of it coming in, especially like figuring out a flow.
There's Riley.
Riley, speaking
of.
Riley.
Perfect timing, Riley.
Welcome, Riley.
Show 1.
We're talking about show 1.
Talk about your show 1 music, bro.
Yeah, real quick, Riley. Riley, introduce yourself real quick, and then we're talking about show 1 music. Andrew was talking about it about you.
Oh, okay, for sure. So, hi guys, I'm Riley. I'm a rookie this year on Decayed Brigade. My nickname on Decayed is the DTC, which will remain mysterious. That's right, baby. That's right. So show 1 was interesting because it wasn't really something that was like planned out before. So a couple of us got together and we're like trying to think of ideas and stuff. And I just have a very like musical, theatrical brain. So I had a lot of things that like I thought would be cool. And I was like, okay, try this or throw this in. And I was giving it all to Andrew, and Andrew ended up making a really, really cool mix of a bunch of like songs and audios that I was giving him. Like me and Naomi and Trey were throwing a bunch of stuff at him, and he mixed all this stuff together to make something really cool. And I'm pretty proud of the way that it came out. Like it was pretty theatrical and then really hardcore and dramatic, which is something I thought was a good way to reintroduce the team after 3 years. So I was pretty happy with the way it came out.
Cool. Show 2.
Show 2. Naomi, you take it away for now.
No, you do it.
I do it.
Come on, Naomi.
Come on.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Do I have to
I'll take a
pick?
challenge.
I'll
Oh,
pick.
God.
Hey,
My
you,
goodness.
you know who I'm gonna pick.
Oh my God.
Let's do it,
You
Naomi.
go.
Go, Naomi.
Okay.
Go for it, Andrew.
So surprisingly enough, at the beginning of every year, I just make collaborative Spotify playlists, and everybody who's going to be a runner, I give them the link, and you just add anything and everything that you think might fit. So our playlists get to be like 2 to 3 hours long, and then we only end up using maybe 5 or 6 songs out of all of it to do it. So I know we pulled a lot of we pulled some leftover from 2019 that didn't get used. And then props to Naomi, dude, using Doja Cat in a show, that went so amazingly. And I love that section so much.
Yeah.
Because it's such a, not only is a crowd pleaser, but it gets us hyped. And that's the other thing that we're looking for when we look at music is not only what's going to get the crowd hyped, but what's going to get us like ready to go and hitting that. And it was really fun. I loved working with Naomi. Just the ideas that we had bouncing off each other, it went so well, and I couldn't have been happier with the end product. Like, I know if you watch, we have a video because we have all of our camera footage from show 2. At the end of Sunday after show 2, I just gave Naomi the biggest hug because it was just like, we did it. Like, it's over. We fucking did it. It just came out so amazing, and I was just very happy with it.
Nice. Show 3.
Reggie
Hi,
D.
I'm here. Hi. So for show 3, to be exact, the way I kind of went with it was we did a show in 2018 at Choreograph, but I wasn't happy with it. It was a hip hop show, but it's too like goofy and too playful. I like the Tootsie Roll in it, a few other things, but for show 3 this year, you know, the theatrics of it, I went to Horror Nights last year with David, and it was super fun. Like, how can I describe it? I saw the Jabberwocky show, and I'm a huge fan of the Jabberwockies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jabberwockies and Kinjas are a big influence for me personally for this team because I see a lot of similarities, but more Jabberwockies than anything else. With me being a former dancer at Disneyland and, you know, doing shows and working with dance crews, I wanted to bring that element into our shows. So for the music, I remember when I brought it to Andrew at his house, and I played it, and he gave me this look like it's not gonna work, and I will never forget it. And I was like, "Trust me, just trust me." Like I thought about breathing sequences, I thought about dance sequences, thought about where we can slide, and he looked at me. I remember putting it together, and like he was like slowly coming around. Slowly, by the end of it, he was like, "Okay, I like it, but now I gotta see it." But for show 3 specifically, I think when I showed everyone the music, everyone was like, "Oh, this is new," because it was more hip hop and than anything else that we ever done before, but it was like hip hop, not like a like how you said, it's not a slider show. It's more like a performance now. It was like Fantasmic meets Jabberwockies.
Right.
And funny enough, for the lighting on Friday afternoon, I remember we were walking on the show floor, and David was still setting everything up. I told David, let's sit down, and me and him were texting about the week, and we sat for about an hour and a half while everyone else was gone. It was just me and him at the show floor. We programmed all the lighting sequences, all the cues for show 3.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the Jabberwockies because when I brought up the dancing before, that's exactly what it reminded me of. It just took me back to them because I'm a huge fan of Jabberwockies.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I brought up, I studied the Jabberwocky show from 2021 like religiously, and I just kind of looking up cues. But for the dance sequence that Riley and Elijah are doing, funny enough, I created that in my car. I was sitting in my car and I was thinking about ways to like kind of like pop lock and stuff like that to the music. And Frankenstein just came out from Swedish House Mafia, and I was like, oh, we got to use the song. And the rated R version hit a lot harder than what you guys saw at the show. But funny enough, I brought some of the elements from, I used to be a dancer at Disneyland, like I mentioned, from Cars Crew. I was in Paint the Night Parade, and there's a sequence that we kind of locked in, and roll your shoulder back and you lock and you stop. And I brought that. And I remember doing it with Elijah and Riley, and they were like, "Oh, I'm into it instantly."
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun to see that come to light.
Yeah, it was cool. It's cool because it was such a simple move, and that's the thing with the Jabberwockies, right? Nothing they do is it's complicated. It's just very simple, smooth moves that they're in sync with. And I think that's what sold your guys' thing, is that you're going in a circle and you were in sync with each other.
Yeah,
that sells it more. There's nothing worse than seeing a dance group not in sync. It just looks off, and then the fact that you guys look the same, you didn't have to look at one or the other. You guys, you just look. I mean, you guys are kind of in sync with each other, and that's the reason why the Jabberwockies work so well too, because nobody stands out. They're all in sync. They all look the same, and it works. And I think that's what took it to the next level, is that you guys introduced that into a sliding show, and that was insane to me. I was like, this is fucking rad. So
yeah, my big thing when we were choreographing everything for show 3 specifically was, I was like, what can we do to not slide anymore? Like, because it gets old. I mean, it's fun, but like you said, you see the same trick, 7 times, someone going underneath the limbo bar. It's like, all right, what are they going to do next, more or less?
Right.
So the dancing definitely broke with that monotony, and then I think just even the storytelling element of it, like how Naomi, like how she comes out and is this. Scarlet Witch. I remember texting her from watching WandaVision. That's where I got that idea from.
Yeah.
And I texted her, I was like, hey, I have a WandaVision kind of part. And I know she loves Wanda. So I was like, all right, it'll be perfect for you. And it translated phenomenally. And with G beating the shit out of the dead bodies behind with Monique. Thank you again for making those, Monique, and you guys. But it looked, the storytelling was like, you knew something, she was casting a spell or something was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, those little breaks of sliding really sell the show. And it's good because it gives you all a break too. You're not constantly like resetting, and doing another slide. So
I just want to say I was calling Naomi Mrs. Darth Maul because she looked damn badass when she opened that book. It was just pitch dark, and seeing it from the sidelines, that side profile, holy shit. It looked so rad. But yeah, it was cool. But to add on top of all that music and stuff, we always have to keep it, and we kind of ran into that problem this year with some of the music having too many cuss words, and we want that music, like he was saying, that like the original version hits a lot harder, and it does sound way better, but we also have to keep it as a family show too, right? So that goes into a lot of play when they're putting their music together. This year we tried pushing the envelope, but it definitely didn't happen. And we have to respect who's providing this for us as well, right? Yeah. So there is a lot of kids. When you actually look in that convention, there is a lot of kids walking around. So, and a lot of them look up to us. I mean, example, G Baby, for example. I mean, he's been a fan of us for how long, right? Always coming up to the booth, always watching us, being a huge fan. And look at this, now he's on the team. Right.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And there's a lot of sliders that we have taught that look up to us for what we do. And we have to keep that image as well. So it comes into a lot of play when we plan that music as well.
Yeah. And adding on top of that, being a spectator of the show and obviously, cross promoting the statue. I witnessed it myself. I was amazed at how many kids adore you guys. And that just made me proud of being a part of something with you guys, because I've been a huge fan, and I see that these kids are huge fans, and, it just made me wish, like, when I was a slider, that we had a team to look up to like that, because I can't imagine what these kids are going to do, when like G Baby's a prime example. And I don't know how many years you've been following Decayed Brigade, how long you've been a fan, but, you're get welcomed into the group, and that just means that you're a fucking badass, So
thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
so it's
that.
like, it's just shit like that, and yeah. So I get what you're saying with the, trying to, what are you laughing at?
I just saw her background. I saw Melissa's background pop up.
It was like, he's laughing at
I was
what
gonna
I'm
say,
saying.
speaking of badasses, Melissa's.
Hey, that's hard.
Melissa, welcome. Are
She's
you?
muted.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. This stupid Zoom.
Speaking of cool tricks, Melissa's cartwheel
Yes.
scares me every time.
We got scared of that
Scares
one.
me every time.
Melissa, introduce yourself, please.
Hello, I'm Melissa. I was actually just about to change my background, but I mean, I'll just keep it. My Decayed name is Valkyrie. I don't know.
How long have you been on the team?
Huh?
How long have you been on the team? Sorry if I'm.
This season, so
You're a newbie.
less than a year.
Oh, sweet.
First rookie in history to be thrown on a shirt.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. We'll talk about the merchandise to you later on. So we'll move on from the theatrics, and we're still going to stick to the show theme. But speaking of themes, what's your guys' process when you for theming each show? Or do you? Was this the first time you've done 3 separate shows? Okay. No.
No, it was only the last couple of years prior to this one where they were cohesive, where they 3 were related. Most of the time they are individual performances, like standalone performances. They don't rely on each other in any way. I think it was the Dream, Nightmare, and Battle was when it really started having that flow through storyline.
Yeah, we tried the year before that, and we're like, okay, it kind of worked. And then that year with Seabass and Naomi going back and forth, it was that put that whole show, because each show had a story plot. The whole thing was one story plot, but each show was a section of that story, right? You had the beginning, the middle, and the end. And it worked. It really did. But then it got to the point where, like, how do we keep doing that, right? Everybody loves looking at this sliding and what we do and the choreograph, the lighting, the dancing, everything like that. But we also have to keep it interesting. So, maybe a couple years down the road, we go back to that, but we never know. But we decided to do every show different so we didn't have to be restricted, right? When you have that story plot, you're restricted that whole entire time to keep it the same theme. But with us having 4 or 5 different kind of showrunners and, 3 shows, they're not restricted to keeping it one way. So.
Right. How do you guys come up with the ideas in terms of themes for the shows?
I guess we'll start with show 1, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the kind of obvious choice, at least in my mind, was like Resurrection, was the idea behind show 1, because it has been 3 years since performing like as a team and stuff. So that's kind of what was going through my mind. At least when I was, working with everyone that was involved with show 1. That's kind of what I thought. I was like, Resurrection, it just makes the most sense. So what can we do to kind of signify that? Which is where, at least for me, that's where the music came in, where it started all slow and then built up to this huge explosion of like, all of a sudden everyone's on the runway and doing these crazy tricks, and it just builds from there. And that first show was like pretty much nonstop. Like there was something happening sliding wise at all times. It was really, really fast. And I think that's kind of what we wanted, was just be like, we're back better than ever, stronger, faster,
Add on to that, Riley, you're right, because when I came in and actually saw it for the first time, since I wasn't sliding as much, or I didn't even slide at all this year, but I wasn't at the practice as much. Coming to one of the practices and seeing that show, I forgot who I said it to, and I go, there are so many old tricks in there that it's almost like an homage to us coming back. And I forgot who I said that to. I think I said to Elijah, maybe. Yeah, it was Spaz, and I said, "Oh, hey, Spaz," I sat there. I was like, "That is an awesome way to start off." 2022. What are we at? 22, 21, 22, something like that. We got so much going on. My dates are all off, but it was cool to see that, because that's what everybody does need to see. And you guys made it way better than, the old days when we were doing those tricks. But, it definitely shows that it was definitely a Resurrection show. That was awesome. Good call.
Yeah, I agree. Show 2, it's obviously is the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing. So just skip that. Forget it. Never mind.
I think it's Naomi's turn this time.
Yeah.
He saved you twice already.
Yeah. Come on, Naomi.
I don't know. We kind of just wanted to do like a mix of the alternative music kind of from the first show, and then the third show was more hip hop. So we kind of just mixed them, made the show.
Straight to the point.
I like it.
No shortcuts.
No shortcuts. It's like, because we did.
It's because
that's how we do it, yo. Show 3.
Show 3 was more like I knew how to close out strong. It's the biggest show, one of the bigger shows of the day. Everyone kind of comes sees, show 3 for the jumping and the harder trick that people know that shows have evolution. So I knew that 3 had to have a mission. But yeah, I just wanted to be more hip hop. I put a lot of myself into show 3. A lot of who I am and the way I was raised and the music I listened to. And I think a lot of you guys, especially Elijah, me and him grew up in similar neighborhoods. We grew up like probably one city over from each other. So where we're from, there's like that kind of nitty gritty ghetto, and even like Andrew knows it. Like being in Long Beach and Norwalk area, it's very very street. It's like a suburb, but it's like a hood inside. But that's why I kind of wanted to bring. I wanted to bring the streets to the show, and that's why you had like Yay area. You had Welcome to My World, bitch, and shit like that. Like it just kind of brought an element of like a little nitty gritty to it. And I think you can really feel it, especially with, like the superhero landing and everything like that as well.
Yeah, no, I agree.
To like piggyback off of like what Greg said, as he was introducing like these concepts to us, I already knew right off the bat like what exactly he was going for. Like Greg and I just kind of already have like we're already on like that wavelength as it is.
Yeah.
But as he was like explaining to us what he wanted and what he wanted from me, like I already automatically knew what exactly he was looking for. So, I mean, and I feel like everyone on the group is like that. I mean, we all are kind of like all on the same frequency. So like we're all like finishing each other's sentences sliding wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely showed. Again, I wasn't at every practice this year, and it definitely showed when I saw it for the first time. It definitely showed that you guys all put your hearts and souls into it and made it yours, right? You made it what you wanted it to be, and it definitely showed a lot. Definitely showed.
Yeah, each show definitely had its own vibe, which was cool. I like the fact that you had 3 different directors on each one, but they still kind of felt cohesive with each other. So kudos to all the directors. You guys did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
So what's up, Spaz? Introduce yourself, brother.
All right. Spaz, I'm the old one. I've been on Decayed Brigade since the beginning. It's just as fun as it is every year. Had an almost perfect weekend with just good times, great. I mean, we worked super hard to get to this point, but this weekend was just about perfect. I mean, the shows happened, the crowds were great, we loved it. Midsummer was a ton of fun. We got to catch up with a bunch of old friends. I don't know where to go out from there, but I was happy. I hope everyone else was.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. You guys killed it. So what I'll do, we'll go into history, and we've been waiting for you, Spaz, because you, the history master, we want you to tell us the history of Decayed Brigade / Scream Team.
We got Greg here. You don't need me.
No. We need you, bro.
Okay. All right. Let's go back. I don't know what year was that. 2012. Willie May was hired by Rick West to put on a slider show, and he grabbed a bunch of people he didn't pay. But he didn't pay any of us or any of the makeup artists. And
welcome to the haunt life, bro.
Yeah, I tell you this, I had the worst makeup job I've ever had in my life on that day. But we pulled off the shows. We trained for Greg 2 weeks?
Like 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks before the thing. We're like, all right, we threw together like one show, and we did it like twice a day. They stuck us in the back corner, but we had vinyl on the floor, so it was fast and it was cool, and the crowd loved it. And possibly one of the best things I could have heard was I was talking to Rick after the very first Scare LA, and he came out. He said, "All right, let me tell you this. You know, we had a bunch of vendors. We had a bunch of things at this convention. The very first KLA, Decayed, or we weren't Decayed Brigade then.
Right.
You guys were the highest rated thing that happened at that convention. You know, and he was gushing all over us. He loved it. You know, he pulled it off. The next year, Rick didn't want to work with Willie again, so he called me out of the blue. And first thing I did was start calling the regulators and Greg and all the people I knew that, you know, should be a part of this. And then it started. We put ourselves into it. You know, we spent, you know, maybe 2 months, you know, putting together shows and music and a team, and you know, the quality went way up.
Yeah.
And then we did like 3 shows, and from then on, you know, it was like, let's get the best sliders. Let's throw out some crazy ideas. You know, originally it was like all linear, you know, up and down, up and down, up and down. Then we said, hey, let's start putting some sideways in it. And now we've got angles and side and craziness, every direction. This year I was talking to Albert Lamb after one of the shows, and even he was saying, it's hard for me to get a picture because I don't know where the next thing's coming. You know, it's like, I know there's a trick coming, but is it coming from a right, left? You know, he had to step back from, because we always give him like prime real estate for our shows, but he discovered he had to get back so he could actually see everything and all the tricks and everything that was going on, just for perspective from the show. And I love it that way. You know, we stimulant. You know, let the crowd just not know. It's they know something's coming, but they don't know where, and they love it.
No, I agree on that with his comment, because I waited till the second day to get some shots, and I asked Chase, you know, hey, do you mind if I come up to the front so I can get some shots? And I mean, you would think that that's prime location. It really isn't. It's very difficult to get shots even when you're right there up front. So I get that comment for sure.
Shots on the second day. My wife sat about 2/3 the way down and filmed it.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a great video. She was in a nice prime location for seeing everything. Yeah. And you know, I got to get that uploaded or shown to some of you guys. You know, it's got a. We were watching I don't know if it's been brought about Veronica's or Nani's metatarsal yet. But we got some good video of that. Sometimes it was just so neat seeing some of the new sliders come in, you know, and just come in just kind of like timid. And then, you know, I'm going to give Elijah an example. He came in, he was like, all right, this is fun. This year, he was pretty much the heart and soul of the Decayed Brigade. Freaking screaming, coming out with passion, you know.
Yeah.
The music's coming on. I'm getting pumped up. And we're getting back to Elijah's getting me pumped up. And like, we're just, you know, I can't tell you how you know, his, you know, from just being like, okay, I'm Elijah, I'm cool, you know, to just like, we're going to go so hard. We're going to go so fast. We're going to be the best. We're going to show these, you know, the passion he's been bringing to this, you know. That's I love seeing the evolution of people get better and better and better every year, you know, as I get worse. So, I mean,
hey, you're still around, bro.
I have to bring up, we started show 1 on Saturday, and the music starts and the crowd's not making any noise yet. And then Riley comes out and he's doing his thing in the middle. And then Faye comes out next. And then it's me and G-Baby on the sides. And as soon as G-Baby walks out, like, it's not dead quiet. The music's going, but the crowd's quiet. And he just let's fucking go, so loud.
hey, you gotta get everybody hyped.
And yeah. I love the energy. It got me hyped up. And I'm like, yeah, let's fucking go. But it was just, the energy that everybody brought this year was just phenomenal. And I loved every second of it.
Yeah, baby. I think that if I took a shot for how many times I heard you yell "Let's fucking go" throughout any of the shows, I'd be so drunk.
You'd be hammered. You'd be hammered.
Yeah.
You probably said like 50 times, dude.
Dude, it was awesome though.
I was just in the moment having fun, dude. That's what it's all about, though.
Exactly.
It's all about having fun out there.
Right.
It was cool because it kind of brought that haunt vibe, you know, where you're pumped, you're out there scaring, you're getting all those scares, and you're just pumped, and you want to get everybody else pumped, and that's the vibe I got whenever you guys were screaming and yelling and, you know, getting the chants in the crowd. So I thought that was dope.
I do have to say, like, it was awesome to see the rookies, like, before we even open. You can see each one was like a different character. Like, you could see that Riley was pacing, like, he was just a ball of energy, and like Garrett and Garrett and Melissa were just talking and chatting away. Like, you could just see that, like, each and every one of them were just so excited to finally, like, this is the day that we've been gunning for, and this is it. And like, that's why I love working the booth too, because I get to see everyone's emotions and see the tiredness and see the disappointed when they know that they could have done something better. But for me, I was like, that looked great. You look great. Everybody looked great. And I was just so happy to see everyone just like, okay, let's go. It's exciting. Let's have fun. And it was awesome to see it all play together.
Well, let's transition to that. I want to ask, you know, the rookies, you know, individually, tell me, you know, what was it like? You know, you go through this process of training. You obviously know, you know, what Decayed was all about. You know, you guys are training for these shows. What was it like to be there?
Jeremy, before you say this, I just want to say there's no way to describe it until you've been there. I mean, we'll hear their verbals, but being on show day and the people and the crowds, you know, after it's all over, it's like, wow, you've done something. And I'm, you know, I tell the rookies, you don't know, that show day, it's gonna blow your mind. So
yeah, I can imagine, because you know we've done, you know, the pre-show at Haunt many years back, and I personally know what that was like, you know, but this is different. You know, you guys have trained for a show. Like, we never trained for the pre-show. We just went out there and act like retards. You trained for a show. You guys practiced your moves, you choreographed, you did it to the music, you know, you had the lights going on. So like, you're in, I don't know how it was. I didn't stay for the whole practice, but you know, I saw you guys were pretty much setting everything up. What was, you know, what was it like when you first got there? You saw the darkness, you saw the, you know, the lights and everything set up. What was going on in your mind after you got your makeup on and you got into character? And you're like, you know, what was that like? Whoever wants to go first.
Well, let's go with the rookies and like their experience first.
Garrett, you want to go first since you guys?
Which one?
Oh shit! Sorry.
Which one?
Yeah, you both. Yeah, I forgot. Let's go G baby. Let's go G baby. Go for it.
Oh man, where do I even start, man? I was probably 13 or 14, 2016. That first Decayed show. I was already into Haunt, already into sliding and all that. And I saw that. I was like, wow, dude, I want to be a part of that. So started from there. And I always go to the rink, always practice and all that, do all that fun stuff. And then this year, when they finally told me, I was like, wow, dude, it's go time, dude. It's a homecoming. You know, I've waited like so many years to finally be a part of something I wanted to be a part of for such a long time. And now it's finally here. I got to show out and show face, you know?
Yeah.
I can't sleep on this. And then just being there, seeing it, being on the other side for the first time, it was like a dream come true, honestly. It sounds corny. We'll be a little cornball right now, but it was crazy, man. It was crazy. Like, I think, obviously, the Let's Fucking Go, that's a new core memory for me. but that first part where I go sideways over Naomi, it's like that meme where I felt like I just stopped in place. I'm like, oh, it took me this long. How did I get here? You know, it was insane to me, that lighting and the fog and everything at once. It was crazy. It was absolutely insane. And I never imagined in 1,000 years I'd finally be here, but you know, dreams come true, I guess.
So after you got all the shows in, you know, that last show, you finished the last show, you see everybody gathering, hanging out. Like, what was going through your head?
Oh man, you know, like the very last show, the very
last show.
Wow, man, it was like, I mean, I don't want to say I cried or anything, but like I felt all the emotions. Everybody was there, you know.
Yeah.
It was all like a group, like little session. Elijah came up to me. We had a little powwow, you know. It was like, man, you know, it's funny too. Like, we practiced for so many months, and like for it to culminate into all this, I was like not only very proud of myself, I was very proud of everybody, what they accomplished. It was amazing what we could do in such a span of time, you know. So
Gotcha.
It was insane.
Well, Garrett, there was nothing corny about that at all, man.
Nah.
Nothing at all, dude.
Yeah,
You
man.
said
Like,
it well.
Eric, do you remember when we were at the top of the runway at practice and I kept like smacking you? I'm like, how does it feel to be on the other side of the curtain?
Yes.
It's a very real thing to go from being a fan to being a participant.
Yeah.
Like it flips your perspective on it upside down.
Yeah, and then Beggs hit me up, sent me that picture of him and I when I was like, I don't even know how old I was. Little
look like you're
baby
9.
face. Yeah, I know, honestly. And then Veronica too. Like, wow, man. It's like I've come such a long way, you know? It's insane.
Well, you should be proud, man.
Yeah, I'm very proud. It's very, very crazy.
Well, thank you for sharing that, bud. Don't be ashamed of your emotions, man. Let it out. Hey, I know people that cry the first time they walked out in Ghost Town streets, bro. So it happens. There you go. You know, it happens, man. G6.
You know, it took me like at least a day and a half after everything to kind of just process what exactly went down, because honestly, it kind of went by in such a blur that I was like, holy shit, we just did this. Like, we practiced our ass off for 4 months, and to finally be like in the middle of show, or even like just getting ready for show and like doing the dress rehearsal and feeling the floor. And then, man, I remember I told everyone this earlier too, because like the difference between show 1 and the last show is crazy. Because show 1, I remember we were all getting back and we were all like hyping each other up and doing our huddle. And then Naomi, myself, Melissa, I think Devin and Carter, we were all walking straight on the side going down. And I was so serious. And I was so just like, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up. And just like repeating that to myself. And then I saw Riley come out, and honestly seeing Riley come out and then him just do this, and then everyone just erupting, I was like, holy shit, we're here. And that's kind of when it, like, everything just like really like settled in for me. And I was like, whew, okay. And then Melissa took off, and then I was taking off, and I was running straight for Andrew. And then I think even Andrew will contest this, where we were looking at each other. I'm like, I can't see you.
Oh yeah.
Just pray and just go for it. And then on the complete flip side, we go on to the last show of the very last show, and now all the rookies are all loosey goosey, and now we're just like having fun with it, and now we're just vibing with each other, and it's just, you know, it's like, what did I do? Like, I think about it now, and I think about it like sometimes, like, what did I do to deserve to be on this team? Because like sometimes it's just like it's so good to be on a team that like pushes each other so hard and loves each other so unconditionally, that it's just like, we're here to make each other better, to show our passion, to show our hearts and our souls to everyone. And just that like-mindedness is something that's going to bring us. And like, that's like, you can't ask for anything better.
Well, I'll have to say your nervousness, man, came off as badass. So
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
that's all I saw, man, was just, you were just in character, just a fucking badass. I was like, this guy looks sick.
Thank you.
The Albert Lamb picture.
Yeah, and I have to, and that goes for all the rookies, man. You couldn't tell you guys were rookies. Like, you know, Chase had kind of told me, you know, a few of you guys were new, and I couldn't tell at all. So kudos to you guys for that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, Melissa.
Thank you.
Want to go next?
Sure. Also, I apologize if like I randomly like disappear. My connection's really bad right now, so I'm just gonna start talking and hope it like works out. Anyway, I feel like a lot of what both the Garretts just said is like very similar for me too. It's definitely one of those experiences that like you just have very similar feelings with like everybody that you're doing it with. So it's like everything that they just said, I agree with. I think for me, like, just like the way that the weekend went was like really rad. and like it was a big educational experience for me because like I feel like, I mean, I've done a lot of like cool things in my life, but like this is definitely like probably in the top like 3, which is pretty nuts. Like I still can't wrap my head around that because it feels like it went by so fast, but there's so many moments where I can just like look back on and like it just like slows down and like I remember it perfectly. Like so hard the whole weekend that at any point I could like think back on a specific moment and like be like there again. It's pretty trippy. And it's been really hard to like focus these past few days because like I just keep about, like specific things that were like so cool.
Yeah.
So it was really fun. And just being on the team in general was like a big like educational like thing for me. Like just I don't know. It was a lot. And it went by very fast.
Yeah.
So it was definitely hard to grasp it all, but it was very, very fun. And I'm trying to think of like specific things from the weekend that really like stood out to me. Like I think by the end of it, just like I don't know, seeing everybody's like energy and like camaraderie was probably like the highlight for me because I think at that point like once like the 3rd show was about to start like on Sunday I was in like such a like reflective like state of mind and like everybody was saying like soak it in like this is gonna go by so fast like and I was trying but it's so hard because like in that moment you're just like it's all adrenaline so pretty nuts but yeah
cool. Riley?
So I have known a lot of these people on this team for like years, just working Haunt and, you know, being a Haunt super fan since I was like 10 years old.
HSP.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I've known Elijah for God, probably like going on maybe even 10 years now because we worked at a previous Haunt together and yeah, I know. So I, you know, I've known all these people and I've always heard about Decayed Brigade. It's funny because I'll look at a lot of my like memories from years ago on Snapchat or in my camera roll, and it's like from either Scare LA or Midsummer Scream, and just like the different venues and the different shows. I have so many recordings of like me sitting on the sidelines, like watching people jump and do crazy stuff, and I was like, dang, like that's pretty cool. I don't know if I could do that, but like it would be fun. So finally this year came and I was invited to join, and I was like, honestly, like I was very excited, but I was nervous because I was like, I don't know if I can be up to par with everyone. So, you know, practice by practice, I was trying my best and really going for it. And then when it came to showtime, very first show of the first day, I remember standing behind that curtain because I was the first person to go out and start the show. And so I was like in my own world. I was silent. I was just like staring and in position. And Elijah comes down and gets next to me and he's like, you better get them hyped the fuck up. And I was like, oh God, here we go. So just as soon as I heard that song start and I opened the curtain and the crowd was like silent because they're like, what is going on? Because it was pretty dark still. I think there was like just a little bit of green light and it was very mysterious. And I came into the light a little bit. I like crawled and came up and I kind of stood there and like G6 said, I just opened up my arms and everyone went crazy. And in that moment I was like, oh hell yeah, well, this is on. Like it's go time. And so since that moment, it's been like just like Melissa said, trying to soak it in. And like I would take little moments for myself between the shows and kind of just stand on the runway and just do a full 360 and look and be like, I really made it. Like this is crazy. Like this is something I've wanted and dreamt of for years, and to actually have it be happening and like this is real for me. It's very, very surreal. So now, like after the shows, I woke up on Monday morning with the only thing I can compare it to is like post-concert depression. Like when you wait so long to see like your favorite artist in concert and that night comes and you're having the time of your life and then you have all these videos and it's like the best time ever. And then the next morning comes and it's just back to real life. And you're like, damn, that sucks. But the good thing about it is that I'm left with so many of these memories and like also the excitement of next year is what I've been mainly focusing on and like getting myself into. And like I was talking with Naomi about this, I was like, I already have ideas for next year. I already have like things that we could talk about and like music and different like kind of choreography stuff. So I'm trying to propel myself, but overall, like it was very surreal and very full circle for me, I feel.
Nice. Okay.
Devin.
Devin.
All right. I'll try to make this somewhat quick. Some of the vets have already kind of pretty much said this, and it was 100% true that Saturday and Sunday are a completely different demon. Saturday, like before, I don't really have like a theater background. I'm more like a sports background. And like that Saturday before that first show, it's like before that first big game, first day of the season, and you're sitting on the field, and all of a sudden, like everybody's watching you. You're like, okay, I got to remember all the plays we did, all the different practices, like what's going on. Like, you're so stressed out about like, am I going to get it? Am I going to get it? Like, what's going on? I got to perform. Is my body going to be okay? I'm going to hurt myself. What's going on? Like, you know, all the pressure's on. And then as soon as those curtains open, it's like blank. It's like you're just everything just becomes instinct. You're like, okay, I've been practicing this since April, and as soon as I see G Babe come out and he just says, "Let's fucking go," I was like, I just felt it. I was like, all right, this is it. And one of the things I liked about the first show so much was that that part when like every single one of us walks out on the runway, and like we turn around and like we do whatever, but when we all walk on the runway, like we're all standing there. I remember just looking across at Greg, and he's just nodding at me. He's just like, "Yep, this is it." Like, you know, I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, okay, that's that first feeling. And then just by the end of the first show, like the adrenaline was so high that everyone was like stopped, like standing around talking. Not like most, like all the guests and stuff. And my body was just like vibrating. I'm like, I can't stop right now. I got to pace. Like I was just going back and forth because like you were just going so fast for so long, and all of a sudden it just comes to a stop. And you're like, Same thing that happened on the very last day on Sunday. Everything had been building up to that moment, and all of a sudden it's all just stops, and then you're like back to reality. Everyone's like hanging out. You're like, holy crap! I just was practicing for 6 months or however long. Then all of a sudden it all just comes to an end. But I think to me it is a lot like a sport where Lionel Elijah says it all the time. Greg says it all the time. It's like, hey, you trust your teammates, right? You guys are teammates. It's all synchronicity. Everything's all kind of focused on each other. We all practice together. We all show up at the same time. We all leave at the same time. We all eat together. Everything is a team, you know? And it's nice knowing that like you can trust on that person. And it's like, it doesn't matter how good they are, how bad they are. It doesn't, like, everybody's on the same thing because we're all the same team, and we all perform. We all do everything. We all push each other. And that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why it's so fun to go to practice, because everybody just is all on that same level. Everybody's always there 100%, and that's it. So from that, just that experience by itself, just the practices.
You're watching me?
Yeah.
Regardless of the shows, that's what I do it for. It's all that.
Nice.
That camaraderie.
Nice. We see you.
Hi.
Dropping off rib.
So just to add on to what you guys said, and nothing corny, nothing, you know, we've all been there, right? All of us, but being one of the oldest guys on the team, except Spaz, we've seen a lot come and go, right? And every single person that has joined this team in the last 10 years, Greg, you've probably seen it. It's surreal to see you guys start. You know, I wasn't at every practice, but I think I've told each and every single one of you guys. And, you know, Jeremy said it, that you guys didn't look like you were rookies, and it definitely showed. It was cool to experience that, to see you guys from the beginning, to see you guys join this team. And then all of a sudden, when you guys were doing those shows, you guys said it. I mean, Jeremy said it. You didn't look like you were rooks. You guys trusted your team, just like you said, and you know, noticed that you guys were all on the same page. So it was awesome to witness that. And yeah, you guys deserve to be on this team. So good job.
Yeah,
you guys did a great job.
All right, let's move into the next section. I really wish there was at least one makeup artist on here, but
I messaged Nicole. She's gonna try to come on. I just sent her the link.
okay, cool. Then I'll move on to something else. We'll talk about the merch. You guys you had some new merch this year, which I thought was really cool. One in particular, and I know she's nervous because she knows I'm going to talk about it. Oh yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that shirt. What was your idea behind it?
I just wanted to do more of like a highlight for the girls because
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of stuff just like girl centered.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, Naomi. Well, what was the besides that? What was the concept behind it? Like, how'd you come up with the design?
I kind of took from show 3 of how it was going to be like witchy magic.
Okay.
So I just put myself in the center with the book, conjuring magic, and then I put the girls next to me.
Okay.
This
Very
one's
cool. Cool. What about the other stuff? Who did the? Did you had 2 shirts this year, right?
Yeah, we
Two-
had
3 shirts.
3 new
had
shirts.
James and Andrew.
So James isn't on the call, but we'll have Andrew talk about and Monique talk about their shirt that they came up with.
Okay.
I'm gonna be completely honest. It was not me at all. That was all this one, 100%.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, actually, so I had been concepting because Trey and Andrew have their own clothing brand, and I was trying to come up with some new ideas for actually one of their shirt designs. And I came up with this little kind of 3D looking design, and I was like, that's really cool. And I had already been working on some other Decayed ideas, and I was like, I think it'd be really cool to try to do the skull this way. That might be a new way to look at it, and that might be really cool. So I completely digitalized the line work, had to redraw it. It took me forever. That design is so intricate. It gave me a new level of appreciation for it, but dear God, that took a really long time to get that done. But I just threw it together and I thought this looks really cool. And then I actually wanted to make it into a little GIF, which is what played during the warnings during the shows. And then finally I was like, you know what, this would be cool to put on a shirt even. Like, this might be a cool design. And tried throwing it on a couple samples and we're like, okay, all right, like this might be cool to do. And it ended up working out.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
Thank you.
I could speak on James's behalf about the shirt because I was there for most of the design process for it. So if you want me to,
Yeah, no, please
speak on that.
Yeah, that'd be rad.
Initially it started out, I don't want to say it was mainly me, but I was pushing them like, hey, I think it'd be really dope if you had your own design because, as most of you know, at least on the team, James is a very, very talented artist, very talented. And shout out to him also for making Devin and I's masks. He did such a fantastic job on the masks, and it came out beautifully. But going back to the shirt, I told him, hey, you should make your own design, come up with something new. And initially, he just wanted to put his own spin on it. So, hold on one second. I have the pictures pulled up on my iPad here. I want to see if I could show you guys.
Cool.
He was at my house, and I don't know how long it took him. It took him a long time, but he drew out by hand a whole alphabet. Hold on a second. Let me see if I could show you guys this. He drew out a whole alphabet for this logo, numbers and everything and all, just to come up with that. And then from there, he took it. And I think Gary's wearing the shirt right now. That was the first initial design. I don't know if I'll show that off, Gary. But that was the first initial design. And then he added the letters to it. And then it turned into that. That was one of the designs he was pushing for. Just a sideways little skull thing, his own little style, unique flair to it. And then I don't think we put that. Oh, sorry. I don't think he put that on the shirt initially. I don't think that's on the shirt right now. But then he came up with the design we have right now. So that was the whole process behind that.
Yeah, I got a
behind the
comment
scenes.
about it too as well. It was kind of crazy. Our first meeting actually was at the rink, and we were just like not even whoever was there. It was only like maybe 9 of us, whatever. And I was sitting right next to him, and I look over, and everyone's talking about like what we're gonna do this year, blah blah blah. I look over, and he's just fidgeting on his iPad. I'm like, dude, what the like? Are you paying attention? Man, what are you drawing? And he literally drew out that entire initial drawing, the one that Gary's wearing, at the first meeting. Like he was just sitting there, just drawing as everyone was talking, and I'm like, probably. I mean, obviously it took him like I don't know, like 30, 45 minutes. I'm like, how'd you just draw that in 30 minutes? That was crazy. Like he was just like, oh, I'm just doodling, and then all of a sudden it turned into this, and then he added stuff, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, and then he went on later on, he added letters and all this other stuff. But like that first initial design that he has right there on his shirt was drawn in like an hour. Like it was incredible. I don't know how he did it.
Well, I'd say they're all three really good designs. Really good designs. So thank you for sharing that. Nicole, welcome.
Hi. Sorry I'm late.
Oh wow, your audio is a little choppy. Introduce yourself, please. Oh, don't freeze up already. She's like,
My name's Nicole Maroney, and I'm sorry, computer is very laggy right now.
There you go. You're good now.
Hear me okay?
well, I'm glad you're. No, that's fine. Do you have a nickname? Or does she know how to...
Frankenstein.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're on because one of the topics I wanted to go over is the makeup designs and the makeup concepts because it's very unique. So, can you elaborate on how you all? I mean, I'm sure like everybody kind of has their ideas, but can you guys talk about how you come up with the intricate detail or intricate line work that's in the makeup?
I feel like each character is different. We collaborate with the individual person.
Oh, sounds like we're losing you.
Yeah. As far as the character design goes, I mean, when
I feel like we're in dial-up internet.
Got mail.
Until she comes back, does somebody want to kind of elaborate a little bit on the makeup ideas?
Sure. I love our makeup artists. They're just some of the best people. And I've had Tess for the last couple of years, and she's wonderful. This year I got lucky to have Mackenzie, and I was like, let's just go crazy. What's your weird stuff you want to do to like a jester? And the first day we kind of vibed, but the second day she really went up and she like put spirals on my nose and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she like did detail like scar work on like John. His makeup was really good. And even Carter, Carter's got a basic design. I think we could get better on that one, but it was just Mackenzie and I were just having so much fun in the makeup chair. We got really weird. We were making a whole bunch of jokes about putting cocaine in the airbrush.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, what?
Right up our nose.
That is I'm sorry. I'm going to have to pause that one.
Yo!
Pause that.
Hey, don't put that in.
Hey, yo!
I'm going to have to step up and pause that
Can't
one.
give away all the secrets like that, Spaz.
Hey, you expect to keep sliding after 50. Come on.
Is that what happened to G Baby? Why is that why he's so hyped?
Possibly.
You're out of here.
It all makes sense now.
No comment.
Check. You're gone.
Let's see.
5-yard penalty, but
You can call Monster Energy crack. So
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Nikki, you back on there?
I'm here. Can you hear
Oh,
me
there you
okay?
go. Way better.
Yeah.
That's it. Off that Cricket wireless.
My computer's fired.
All right, go ahead and just start over. You literally right when you started
None of
talking, it went bad. So go for it.
That's awesome. As far as the makeup design goes, I feel like we definitely we bounce back and forth off of the individual character. Like, for example, Ruth one year, I think it was the first year we were black and white makeup. Ruth wanted to be a doll, and I feel like it was something that we did on the fly. The first night, actually, I think it was the night before Scare LA or Midsummer, and I'll never forget the very first time doing it on the show floor. It was super dark, so her makeup came out really dark. But I feel like that's a perfect example of just kind of doing something on the fly, just bouncing a general idea, like I want to be a doll, and kind of rolling with that. I feel like all the makeup artists all have a very specific style, so I can't really speak for all of them, but as far as creating it kind of just goes with what the person wants and what we can do, and then making this vision in your head come to life.
Sweet.
Please tell me you guys heard everything.
Yes, we heard it all. We got you on that one. We got you on that one.
Sorry. It's
Yeah, just to tag on top of Nikki, throughout the years when we've been doing this, we kind of come up with an idea ourselves, and we kind of put ourselves into it, kind of like what they do with the shows, and we say, hey, we want something like this. Can you do it? And they come up with their own designs and original designs. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't look as good and have this talented of a team looking amazing when they're out there performing, right? Being scare actors and sliding. But I'll go off. We had Sammy as one of our makeup artists in the past, and I said, you know what? Do you? That's all I said was do you. This is my character. This is what I'm wearing. Match match it. And I think that year Nani and I decided to do twins, and like she was my sister and I was the brother, obviously, or I was the sister while I was wearing long dreads, so it could have been, but he said we want to match but make hers a little bit more feminine showing, right? When you have your face painted, depending on what you're wearing, you can look exactly the same, right? You didn't know what you were, but we just said do you. It's your art. Do you, and come up with what you think is going to fit this costume. And I think that's how we came up with ours. But a lot of the team members say, hey, this is the design I like and this is what I want, or they sketch something up. I think Andrew sketched something up or in the past, and I think Greg, you usually use the same makeup, but you have your sketch with what you want to be, right? Then that fits you, right? Naomi, I think you're the same way. So it comes down to being like your personality when we present it to the makeup artist, and then they say, you know what, okay, I got it, and they figure out what they want to do.
Sweet. Sweet. Cool. Well, welcome, Carter.
Hey, what's going on?
Shrekin, dude? Are you on a hike?
I feel like I'm.
Yeah, dude, I'm out here in the forest. A mental reset. Midsummer happened. I gotta go on a spiritual journey through the forest.
Good for you, man.
Return to monkey.
Or are you still
Was
working?
that toe drag too much for you, dude?
I'm not working. This is my vacation. I get the week.
There you go.
Good for you.
So.
Hey, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Carter. I'm also known as Fryboy on Decayed. Been sliding for probably like 5 years now. Been on Decayed for 2. Yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, there's not really much special about me.
Well, I beg to differ.
I appreciate that. That's nice.
Yeah, man. No, well, welcome. I'm glad you got to hop on towards the end.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a few other people that haven't joined, but that's all right. I basically just have the one last question, and the future of Decayed. Clearly you guys are on a high momentum going up, and I'm just curious, like, what are the plans? Obviously you can't tell everything clearly, but what I guess we can say, I can ask it this way: what would you like to happen?
I mean, I think the goal that we have for every year is always just to go bigger and just better. And from 2019 to this year, it was a humongous step. And I think we would all agree with that it was just, we set the bar so much higher.
Yeah.
But going into 2023 and beyond, we just got to figure out a way to get over that bar again and set it higher every time. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how we're gonna do it yet, but with all of us thinking together, I don't think it's gonna be that difficult because we got a great group and everybody meshes together so well that I am sure that this next year we're gonna make this year look bad. I mean, we do it every year. I don't know how the fuck we do it, but with everybody working together, I'm sure it's gonna be even fucking greater than it was this year.
See, Nicole's,
I agree with what Andrew's saying. Every single year we try to up the bar, and this I hope we make it look more badass than this year, because this year that bar was raised for sure. And we got a few things planned in the future. We always try to thrive to make this team succeed in other places, and we try to look for other opportunities, not just doing the Midsummer Scream convention, which we are all appreciative for, how much they provide us and how much they love us. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But we always do try to venture outside of the box, right? We outside of the pond, try to figure out what we can do at other locations or at other haunting events. We try to advertise ourselves as an entertainment group that we can go to these other locations and perform. For example, we've done YouTube's Halloween event. We've done Snapchat's Halloween event. We've done Rich Kids in Beverly Hills birthday parties. We've done,
we did a
we have a mitzvah. There you go. Got kicked out for being too scary. And, we always try to put ourselves out there to do other things and other things for kids too. We've done Slide Into Reading, where we performed at schools and dress as Dr. Seuss characters and promote physical education and reading at the same time. And just to see those kids' minds explode to see what we do, because they don't see any of this, right? They're not into it.
Right.
But we try to figure out new ideas of ways that we can keep this going and not just being and I don't quote me on this, one trick pony. We're definitely not a one trick pony because we got plenty of them, but just the same show every single year, and we love it. We love doing it. This is what we're known for. But we have some plans in the future that we're trying to make it to the point where to make this more bigger than what it is.
For sure.
And a lot of work that goes into this isn't necessarily stuff that the audience is going to see, but they may get to see more of that because of the work that we put in on the back end. So like keeping track of all the things that need to get done in order to do doing event coordinating or the logistics for music, getting the licensing, writing our own things, everything that David Woods has to do in order to make the production, give it the production value that it is. All of these things, like the audience is just seeing this ittle bitty chunk of it, but there has been so much effort, and all of that effort is built upon the effort from years prior and experiences prior. So, a lot of us, we've worked in, we've built haunted houses, we've worked in production, done touring gigs, done costume design, made wigs and things. Hi, Olipop. We've all of these things that we've all done all kind of on our own. It all kind of culminates together into the production that is this show. So it's more than just a bunch of people throwing themselves on the floor these days. This is a whole ass production, and the amount of man hours that go into it definitely shows on just those 6 shows. That's all we have. That's the only opportunity we have to show all of these people how much effort we've put into it. And it's unspoken, and they can't really describe it or pinpoint why was that so much more awesome. There's something that's not quite tangible, but it is all of the efforts and all of the experience and expertise that go into launching the production in the way that we do.
One thing that I've always said is a personal goal of mine is to expand outside of the haunt community, haunt industry. Because as much as we all love Han, how big the Han industry is, it is a small pond compared to the rest of the world and all these other industries out there. So, I mean, Greg and I talk about this all the time. You know, we want to get on the same level as the Jabberwockies, the Kinjas, stuff like that. Like we want to expand upon that, and who knows, maybe someday that will happen. You know, like Greg said earlier, like if you were to ask him back in 2012 if he thinks we would have got to this point, no one would have thought of that.
No,
so,
sure.
you know, who knows what the future holds. So we just got to keep working on it, and just keep growing stronger and stronger every day. Keep putting in the work. I think we could get there.
Yeah,
not a doubt in my mind.
You can definitely see what you guys do outside of the scariness. You know, Chase had mentioned, and you showed me a picture. I think it might have been in 2019. I think the year you guys did the Dr. Seuss event. And that, like, I never, you know, would even thought of bringing it outside of the haunt world, because like that alone shows that you can just take the costume and just swap it out for something child related, create a show based off of that, and then just do it. To kind of expand on that, Elijah, I can definitely see you guys taking it outside of you know, the scary aspect of it and turning it into something that would be more relatable, which opens the doors to even more.
We took over the Bishop County Fair.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, we did.
That was a weekend. They had never seen anything like us.
Yeah,
and
we never seen anything like them either.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to Arkansas. I see people like that.
Want to buy me that $5?
It's a bag of knives.
Bag of knives.
So
I hope that kid's okay.
Yeah, real quick, just a little inside joke on that, Jeremy. We were at Bishop and we had a blast. I mean, we took over the county fair up there. It was the Tri-County Fair, so 3 counties coming together, right? And we met, what was his name? Who do we meet?
Yeah, I don't even know his name, but
The musician? I don't remember.
Yeah, what was his name? He's an actor.
That guy.
Quaid.
Dennis
Quaid. We met Dennis Quaid at the Tri-County Fair, man.
Dope.
And you know, we would have never thought to see an actress or actor there. I mean, we did see another actress there that we won't mention, but different type of industry. But so these kids were coming up to us, and we're all in our costumes and everything, makeup done, and they all of a sudden, this one kid's, hey, you know, can you go help me go buy a bag of knives? And I was like, wait, what? And he goes, yeah, they're selling bags of knives. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, right down there at that vendor, they're selling bags of knives. Can you go buy them for me? I was like, how old are you? He goes, I think he said 15. And I was like, no, man, I can't go buy you a bag of knives. Like, where is this even coming from? And he just started asking every single monster that was there. He's like, can you go help me buy a bag of knives? I was like, what is going on? That's Bishop for you, I'll tell you what. So
let me tell you,
I saw chasing a cop car later.
Yeah. I did get arrested in Bishop. That was a different story and a long story. So
Don't call my mom.
Don't call my mom.
Yeah, I see a future T-shirt, man.
Yeah, right.
I definitely see a future T-shirt with a bag of knives.
Bag of knives. Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
Inside joke, but I guarantee people will think it's funny.
And top of that guy was a YouTube sensation. He had his own like YouTube following, which was extremely weird. And we're just like, who is this kid? But
I feel like Bishop was like the Twilight Zone from what you guys been playing. It was like the Twilight Zone of fucking California.
It was pretty
fever
surreal.
dream.
I'll give you the lowdown, Jeremy. It was literally a religious, probably 3 of the most religious counties. And when we first rolled up and seeing these skulls everywhere, they thought we were devil worshippers for sure.
And everybody knew each other. Like we drove through the McDonald's, and that person worked at like the museum, like the train museum, and like everybody knew everybody, and they knew we were coming as we were driving down the street. They're like, who is that?
Yeah.
And like everybody knew about us before we even got to meet them.
I think the greatest part was that when we were going down the street, we just had breakfast and we were walking down the street all in our like shirts and jerseys and stuff. Like people were honking from the street. They were honking their horns like, yeah, the Decayed Brigade. Yeah, like a day after, like a day into that trip, that next morning, it was like we just took over that entire town. Like they just had the name on the brain, you know. It was just just weird.
And we were the only biggest group of people to wear black shirts. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Nobody else there wore black shirts.
Just driving in because like it was in my car, it was me, Monique, Trey, and Nomi. And I have zombie response team decals on my SUV. So the looks that we were getting driving in, everybody was like, what the fuck is happening right now?
And like word spread around that town like wildfire. Like our first show that we did was probably like the lowest attendance like we've ever had at a show. And by our second show, the whole fair was watching our show.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was crazy. Because, we've, performing Midsummer and all these other like big conventions, we're used to like a big crowd. And like we saw like a little small crowd and we're like, what's going on here? And then Paul's like assured everyone's like, guys, trust me, like word's gonna spread and we're gonna get a big crowd. And sure enough, the whole fair was there.
Town was there. I think the whole town was there.
Yeah, the whole town was there because that's what it felt like.
It did, yeah.
All 200 of them.
Yeah.
It's a sleepy town, and like the most action that they get are people that are climbing, in a mountain range somewhere or going to and from Burning Man. So to see a bunch of idiots like us come in and do what we do to the music that we do, and then put us right next to like a religious booth, and another one was like a political booth, and I'm like, oh.
Wow. Pretty sure
Everyone was very
Pentagram
nice,
put
though,
over
we'll say
somewhere.
Yeah, so it was fun, but that's what we like to do, though. We know we went to that fair knowing that we can do it now, and knowing what to expect. We have times where we actually approached Orange County Fair to try to get in there, and we wouldn't. It would probably be the point where we wouldn't even in black and white makeup, and it would just be us doing stunts, right?
Yeah.
Or to try to do something different, like we do for sliding into reading, different characters, or something completely different when it comes to those type of out of the box kind of shows.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we always look for too. And I know before COVID hit, that Tri-County Fair did email us, asked us to come back and give us a different area where we had almost a building to ourselves. So we are looking for that. So we are trying to take Decayed Brigade into a different level than just Midsummer Screen in the haunt industry. So
that's cool. I think it's a great idea.
I'll say for me personally, I think one thing I can kind of contest to and with everybody else is we were walking around Friday night, and I think Elijah, you made this comment, or Andrew or Sal Riley, I think it was one of you guys, and someone was like, no one knows who we are, and we're walking around right now, but by the end, everyone's gonna know. I think it's just that level of mystery that I just want us to really keep. We're like, who we are, but if you see us walking down the street, like individually, you'll never piece it together.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one of my favorite things that at Midsummer or Scare LA or Halloween Horror Nights is a good example. I think this is a really good example. It was 2000. What year was that? 2016 when we all went.
Yeah, we had a huge group.
Yeah, we had a huge group. We all went to Horror Nights, and we were all wearing our jerseys. We were wearing our shirts, and we wound up kind of being the mystery man. And then all of a sudden, the word like wildfire started. You could hear it going down the escalators. So like, oh, that's the Decayed Brigade. Then we came out of the maze, and then one of the head of securities was like, hey, we need to talk to your group. And we were like, what's going on? And he like pulled me to the side and pulled a couple of us to the side. He's like, hey, we don't know who you guys are, but you guys have a presence here, and we need to escort you through the rest of the mazes the rest of the night. And that was the coolest thing ever.
It was definitely surreal for sure.
Yeah, Chase, were you there with us?
Yeah, oh yeah, we were all there.
Oh yeah, Chase, you were there.
Yeah, it was definitely surreal. It was definitely something that you wouldn't have expected. Like, we're just doing this for fun, right? We all do this for fun. None of us get paid for this.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden going in there like we're VIPs at this, other haunt convention. We're just like, wow, this is crazy. We weren't expecting it at all. We were just going as a team outing. That's literally what we were doing. And that's what we do all the time. And, and at that point, we were still kind of getting our feet grounded, and it was surreal for us to see how many people actually knew who we were. Mm-hmm. It was rad. Yeah, that was a fun night. That was
a fun night. We all got toasty, but it was kind of weird. But that's what I just want us to keep, and keep moving forward for next year. Just keeping the mystery there and keeping people guessing. And it's always kind of cool to see other slider teams like Six Flags, for example, using our tricks. It's like cool to see them be like, that was in our show, or like, you guys can use it, but we're gonna do it one time is better. This is kind of like using that like. I think one of the Queen Mary guys came up to me during the show on show 2 on Sunday, and was like, "Yo, you guys are like our cousins, but like our big cousins." And I was like, "Well, thanks."
Yeah.
Like,
You know, and to add on that, when he says that, you know, when they use our tricks, you know, we take it as a compliment too. You know,
Yeah.
you know, but we do exactly what Greg said. We can take it and do it a little bit, you know, one time's better. But you know, when we do a trick, and there's a lot of tricks that we have invented throughout the years, right? We have, and to see Six Flags, to see Queen Mary, to see a couple other what is it? I think no, I don't think Universal's never had a actual show, right? They just had the sliders.
They
But
don't
to
even
see these
have
other
sliders.
teams,
We tried, trust me.
and you know, to see, I think there was some other haunts that do show some videos too, while they're trying to slide and do some stuff, but they do the tricks that we do, and it's a compliment to us. I mean, we work hard for those tricks, right?
Yeah.
And to see other people that are working as hard to try to, you know, make that trick work, it's a huge compliment towards us. So, for example, I think we're going to start doing the longest toe drag, and you know, I think we made that a staple this year. That, you know, that is the newest and one of the hardest tricks to do, to have that balance. And with Devin going over 3 bodies, I mean, why not do that like just jumping bodies? You know, how many bodies can you go over on your toes all the way down? So, I think we need to start creating that kind of stuff, and we have in the past, and you know, start making some other records that we can have other people, you know, take that challenge on. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have to say that is a honor that people would want to mimic. You know, that's the first sign of respect in leadership in something that you do. You know, that was kind of the thing back when I used to DJ. You know, back when you battled, you always hid your labels. You know, you never showed what record you would use, and never showed how you did a certain scratch. And that opened up when, you know, one particular group started showing their labels, started doing this, and it just exploded the industry. You know, and then new scratches and new mixes and all that came about. You know, and I think that is something that, you know, at this point, sliding needs. You know, and I think that you guys being at the top, you know, as a group, people are going to look at that, you know, when if you hide it, you know, then it's not going to grow. So, you know, with that said, and, you know, I think we could end on that. But, you know, I want to thank every one of you guys personally. You know, there's so many podcasts, and there are podcasts and so many other, you know, platforms that you guys could have done this on. And, you know, I feel extremely honored to have been able to interview every single one of you. I know there's a few missing, but I want to thank you personally for taking the time to come onto my, you know, little channel here. You know, I just want to thank you guys personally for allowing me to interview every single one of you at once. You know, I'm probably repeating myself, but I know you guys could have chosen other platforms to do this on, and I'm truly honored, for sure, for real. I'm a huge fan, and I'm going to be a huge fan. I can't wait to see what you all do in the future, and you know, I look forward to getting to know you guys a little bit more. So I appreciate it.
Well, Jeremy,
Red Rum, it's an honor to be interviewed by you. I hope that the audience understands like what a big deal it is to be, you know, in this venue with you. Like, you are OG. You're, you know, Scary Farm legend.
Thank you. I want to be able to get you know, everybody that I haven't interviewed. I don't think I've interviewed any of you. I think Naomi and Chase are the only two, right, that we've gotten on Behind the Mask. Oh, and Greg. Sorry, Greg, didn't mean to forget you.
You can help.
I was like, yeah, Greg's in there somewhere. But if you guys can do me a favor, if you want to be on Behind the Mask, it's up to you. I would love to interview you guys, each of you guys, get your history and your story individually. Please message me your handle and your interest on Instagram, and we'll chat through that, and we'll schedule you guys for season 2, because we're going to be starting up pretty soon.
Well, before we go, I think we need a traditional E taking us out one more time. You know, that you know, the little cheer that we do every single time before we go out and perform. So I think we need that on this podcast. E, take it away, man.
Hey, yo, when I say who are we, you say DB. Who are we?
DB.
Who are we? DB. Yeah, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go, baby!